Hey, Disney cruisers, and welcome back to the DCL community, where we are here to help you plan, prepare for, and get excited for your Disney cruise. You guys know me. I'm Rebecca, your host and admin of the DCL community. And today is the day that you have been waiting for, that I have been waiting for, that Karen has been waiting for. We are talking all things summer 2026 itineraries. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. So as you're coming in, please say hello. Let us know where you're watching from so that we can say hi. But Karen, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Absolutely. What a day it's been. What a week it's been. Hi, everybody.
No.
I am Karen Shelton. I am the owner of My Path Unwinding Travel. You've seen us here with Rebecca for several years now. We have a strong relationship on Facebook. We are an authorized Disney vacation planner. We have a team of 16 travel advisors coast to coast that are all Disney Cruise Line experts, fans, Castaway Club members with so much experience in every single aspect of Disney Cruise Line, from every ship and every category and every itinerary. And we've been on all the ships, on all the new ships. We are so excited that we've been finally delivered the news about what Disney Cruise Line will be doing in summer 2026.
Yes. Oh my gosh. You and me both. And we have friends watching from Australia. Somebody getting off the Dream. I'm so jealous that you were on board.
Ooh,
Jersey Shore. Love that. Michigan, Jacksonville, New York. Hello, hello. I'm so excited to get into this.
amazing.
I know. So
Amazing. I'm here in Charlotte, North Carolina, where it is like the most gorgeous spring day out of the blue.
yes,
But
I
it
was
makes me
gonna
want to get
say.
back on a cruise. It feels like that kind of day.
Exactly. I would love to be on deck with you drinking a glass of wine right now instead, but we'll save that for next time. But
Yeah.
if you are ready to plan your Disney cruise, whether it's summer 2026 or maybe something a little sooner, get in touch with Karen and her team. That's the link to her page on the DCF community site. And I am going to get this in the comments for everybody as well. But what do you say? Let's go ahead and dive in, and then we'll answer some questions as we go. And I have some for the end too.
Fantastic. Fantastic. You know what I just really can't believe is that Disney Cruise Line in the summer of 2026 is going to have 8 ships.
That's
I
crazy.
mean, I know we have talked about this, but 8 ships.
I know.
So, I mean, it's so hard to keep track. Like, how do we, summarize it all? I think I've done a good job, kind of really giving you the broad strokes of what is out there. But there is so much to choose from now, literally around the globe. And it is just crazy. We have 2 ships that we're going to be talking about that nobody even has set foot on yet because they haven't had their maiden voyage.
Right?
So Disney just feels like yesterday, but it was just over the holiday season, launched their newest ship, the Disney Treasure, which brought the fleet to 6. Then we're moving on to the Disney Destiny and the Disney Adventure out of Singapore, and that's going to bring us up to 8. So, and before we know it, there's going to be even more. So, my goodness, just so much.
I know.
But yeah, so let's go
Agree.
ahead and dive in. I mean, this slide, when you look at it, when it looks at all the things that you can do on a Disney ship in the summer of 2026, and we didn't even mention Adventures by Disney. We'll get there too. Um, that there's just so many ways that you can travel on a floating vessel with Disney in 2026. So let's start out by talking about the Alaska itineraries because
Yeah, so
I
popular.
kind of sensed this was coming, but wow, Disney is now going to have 2 ships in Alaska. So we're going to have those OGs, the Disney Wonder and the Disney Magic, sailing out of Vancouver. So you get to take your pick. Do you love the Wonder? Do you love the Magic? Do you want to leave on a Monday? Do you want to leave on a Thursday? The
True.
ships, the ships, will have some different entertainment, of course. They might have your favorite server. They might have just a more convenient time for your schedule. But now there's double the ways to experience Alaska with Disney. And, I honestly have not had a chance to look at kind of the starting prices yet, but I'm hoping this is going to make Alaska more accessible um, on Disney Cruise Line for more of our Disney fans. Because it is such a limited season and there's been so few departures, that drove the price up. I'm going to have to take some time to check to see how the prices are looking relative to when there's been one ship. But in any case, there'll be a lot of opportunities. So if you've been waiting to do Disney in Alaska or weren't sure, I mean, I think this is the time.
Agreed. And I know that people are going to say, like, oh, it's the Magic and Wonder. Those are the old ships. I want to get on the new ships. But I don't know about you. I love the Magic and Wonder so
Oh my
much.
gosh. I love those ships. They are near and dear, I think, for both of us, Rebecca. And it is such an intimate feeling. And for me, I love being on the smaller ships when you're in ports like in Alaska. It feels just, I don't know, better that we're not on one of the huge ships when we're going into these ports. And I think the ships can be more nimble and it's just more intimate. So I think that, in Alaska, the focus really is on the destination and the beautiful nature that you'll see and all of that. So we don't need, the Haunted Mansion bar in Alaska. It just doesn't necessarily go together somehow in
Yes,
my
so
mind.
true. Yes, yes. I've been picking up what you're putting down. There's something about the original ships. It just kind of has that neighborhood, comfortable feeling to it. It's not touristy is not the right word. It's classic. It's a vintage
Classic was the word I
DCL.
was about to say, exactly,
Yeah.
and that's, it's the classic ocean voyage, and, that's
Yes.
such a great fit for going to Alaska on those beautiful streamlined, you know, ships, so and we know that they're in tip-top shape. They are, still absolutely beautiful and still have, of course, the great service that Disney Cruise Line is famous for. Of course, they'll have all the classic characters on board. Um, and then you get to go these amazing destinations. So you definitely give it a look. There's other cruise lines that go to Disney I'm sorry, the other cruise lines that go to Alaska out of Vancouver, out of Seattle, or even one way that, go between, let's say, Vancouver and Anchorage, so to speak. But you know, there's just this comfort level with traveling with Disney Cruise Line. And, they've been doing Alaska now long enough that we know that they do it really, really well.
So, so true. And somebody's asking what other cruise lines sail Alaska. I know you and your team have sailed on a bunch of different cruise lines. So,
Oh my gosh. Yeah, there are so
yeah,
many depending on what you're looking for. Of course, many Disney Cruise Line fans are interested in Royal Caribbean, which I think could be a great option. But there's ships large and small depending on what you're interested in. And I'll just throw out there, we don't have this information yet, but another way to experience Alaska with Disney is an Adventures by Disney Alaska vacation. We
ooh,
can share the itinerary for this summer. We'll have to see if there's still availability. It sells out pretty quickly, but it is a week-long land tour to really get in to see, all the wildlife and Denali and have the water experiences and a more immersive Alaska experience than you might get just by land. So that's another way of experiencing Alaska as well.
definitely reach out to Karen and her team and they can point you in the right direction depending on the ship or depending on the vacation that you want to have. But I'm so excited. Yes, there were so many announcements, so many itineraries, so many mixing and matching of ships. So I'm excited to get into all things Caribbean.
Oh my gosh. I mean, this is where it's like, okay, now it becomes like a grid, a puzzle, like, okay, who is going where, when, from which port? Because not only, do we have these new ships, but now, we were kind of getting used to, all right, now there's some cruising out of Southern Florida. Um, well, now it's really kind of like a standard, right? It's just par for the course that Disney Cruise Line is leaving out of two ports in Florida, Port Canaveral, which is, 45 minutes to an hour away from Walt Disney World, super convenient from the Orlando airport, or Fort Lauderdale, which now has its beautiful Disney Cruise Line terminal as well. Such a convenient trip from the airport if you want to fly in the day before and just stay real conveniently close or have a few days at the beach. Um, but now we have all these ships to choose from. And
Yes.
so, a lot of it is going to be looking at your schedule, looking at the itinerary, looking at the ship you want to be on. So, Disney, it's, I would say, probably, part of the bread and butter of Disney Cruise Line are Eastern and Western Caribbean cruises. And the Disney Treasure, which is the newest ship. And I know we've been blasting all about how amazing it is. Um, that's going to be doing 7 nights, Eastern and Western alternating out of Port Canaveral, and it's going to go to Castaway Cay. So, the classic Disney Cruise Line itinerary on the newest amazing ship, you're set there. Or you can do 5 nights on Disney Cruise Line on the Disney Destiny, which is going to be the next newest and best ship because we haven't even set foot on it yet. But we know that Disney is constantly, adding new stories and new theming and new experiences. And, a 5 night to Lookout Key, which is just gorgeous. Um, wow, that's going to be also incredible. And so I think, some of it is just really understanding now that Disney doesn't have to mean Orlando. I think originally, like so many of our clients are like, we're flying to Orlando, we're doing a cruise, but now you can do a Disney cruise out of Southern Florida. And if you want to combine it with a Disney vacation, you still can because the Brightline train makes it so easy to just sit back, relax, and get yourself back up there or go from Orlando down to Southern Florida.
So true. The Brightline, everybody raves about how easy it is. And of course, if you want to rent a car, you certainly can. But with how seamless the Brightline is, I'm excited to personally get to use it.
It is great. So many on our team have used it routinely. We have, several folks on our team that either live in Florida or go there regularly and have been doing that back and forth. So we know all the ins and outs, and it's just had great, great reviews. So super excited about that. Um, and you know what? I see a typo on my slide. Oh, I hate that. Sorry, everybody. This is what I get for throwing things together so quickly. But it's a southern, not a southern uh,
I didn't even
itinerary.
notice.
Somebody would. But this is what I get for being rushing to put things together today. Um, so the um, the 10-night Southern Caribbean is just, an amazing immersive time to just really slow down and relax on board the Disney Fantasy. What I've done an 11 night on board the Disney Fantasy. It's just one of my favorite all-time cruises, to see some different islands and to relax, and to have that extended length of cruise. And there's only one of those happening, so be sure to check that out.
I was going to say those are coveted. So if you have the time off, if you want to do that, I think it's over the summer too, if I'm remembering correctly. That is definitely one that I have my on for next year.
Yeah, it is. It is such a great itinerary. Okay, so let's talk about the kind of other bread and butter of Disney Cruise Line, which is the Bahamian itineraries. So these are 3, 4, and 5 nights that go to Nassau, that go to um, the Disney Lookout Key, that go to Disney Castaway Key. Again, this is kind of a little bit of a puzzle piece. There's so many different options. So we just need to look at the date, the ship, and where it's going. But again, we can do these from Port Canaveral or from Fort Lauderdale. So we have just such a whole range of options to pick from, out of Florida to go to the Caribbean or the Bahamas.
Yes, love that you can customize and there's options. It's not just the Monday to Friday, Friday to Monday. There are other options just based on everybody's schedules and time off. I love it.
Okay, let's see. Now, the newest ship, another new ship that we haven't set foot on is the Disney Adventure, the world's largest ship with so many themed neighborhoods. So, so much to offer. We don't even really, I can't even begin to comprehend all the different entertainment, the dining options, all the new stateroom configurations. These cruises
So
really
excited.
are they were really designed, I think, to introduce Disney Cruise Line to the Asian market. And so they don't really go anywhere. They go out to sea and float around so you can really enjoy the ship. However, we are having many, many clients deciding to venture to Asia so they can explore different areas around Singapore and then get on a Disney cruise ship at the same time. So, a lot of times people are like, do I need a travel advisor? Well, for something like Singapore, please reach out. We can definitely help with all of the ins and outs. We are working on different itineraries for folks, some of our great partnerships with different local destination management companies to make your trip to Singapore amazing.
Oh, I'm so excited for this ship. And I'm so excited for everyone to get to explore Singapore because I've heard nothing but good things. So I'm excited to go there too. I've never been.
Do you think it's going to be on your agenda? Is it on your wish list, Rebecca?
It's gotta be. I gotta go there. Listen, if they're gonna put a Disney cruise ship there, I need to go. I wish I could somehow if I could somehow coordinate and just take the Wonder on its way over to Australia and then just pop over. That'd be like the best Uber ride ever. Uber Disney cruise across the ocean. That would be great.
Amazing. All right, now we can talk about Europe. And honestly, like I ran out of time creating these slides, but there are so many European itineraries, and it's going to be the Disney dream returning to Europe in 2026. And you can do everything from a short 3-nighter all the way to a full 12-night cruise. And so there are just so many different options. There's two Norwegian fjords itineraries, which are really, really popular and such a beautiful itinerary. There are the Greek Isles itineraries. There's Italy. There is a British Isles itinerary. And then the little short ones that go to Spain, that go to Belgium. So just so many different options depending on what you want to see in Europe and how long you have to travel. I definitely recommend doing at least a week cruise when you go to Europe, but perhaps,
Yeah.
it might work out to where you could do, a short cruise out of Southampton, outside of London, and then do an Adventures by Disney river cruise, and then do a Disney ocean cruise, then do an Adventures by Disney land trip. There are so many ways that you could spend the whole summer in Europe with Disney. And explore, so many different countries across the continent.
So many ways to customize your European travel. I love it. And I know some people wanted more Europe. They were asking, why can't we have a ship in Europe all the time? But this is actually a perfect segue. Adventures by Disney gives some options for other seasons too.
Absolutely. So if you want to explore Europe with Disney, Adventures by Disney could be the option for you. So earlier this week, Adventures by Disney announced their small ships for summer 2026, which is why my head is spinning because I just didn't think they would talk about summer cruise line and ABD all in the same week. But sure enough, here we are. So, Adventures by Disney, we have a couple other lives that we've done about this. And they are small ships, small river boats. They charter with AMA Waterways, and they are sailing in 2026 on the Danube, the Rhine, the Seine, and they've announced the Rhone River in southern France. So Adventures by Disney will be in
Ooh.
4 rivers in the summer of 2026. But what's cool about ABD is that you can do these river cruises. There is a Christmas market river cruise option. There's some fall options that are adult only. And then there's also like a spring option for Holland and Belgium. So this is a really, really exciting opportunity. And Rebecca, you might have heard that our friends over at the DCL Duo are planning to sail on the Holland and Belgium River Cruise July 4th, 2026. And I'll actually be live in a little bit with them talking all about that. So if anybody wants to sail with friends, come join us there. And we will be talking about all those details. But this is a much different experience than Disney Cruise Line, so it pays to kind of tune in and listen into some of the information we have about that. So wow, I just ran through so much. Want to just talk about a recap.
Yes.
My favorite tips for traveling with Disney Cruise Line any time of year. But I especially point these out for Europe and Alaska. But they really hold true for any itinerary. If you're in Europe, you definitely need a passport. If you're going to Alaska out of Canada, you will need your passport. Passports are highly recommended on the Bahamas and Caribbean itineraries. We always recommend that you arrive a day early to give yourself time just in case there's any delays. Flights are always crazy. I think that's a given now. If you are going to Europe, you definitely want to give yourself a day early and maybe more, because a lot of times you don't have time to explore that first port that you're departing from. So give yourself time to enjoy and experience the sights in that destination. And if you are departing and then finishing the cruise in a different port, give yourself time there, because that last port typically won't have excursions either. So you need time on either end. So that's why you use a travel advisor, to kind of think about the big picture and how it all fits together for your family. So very high level, quick run through of all the updates. What questions came in, Rebecca?
I was going to say, so many questions that it seems like I keep seeing over and over again. People are upset about not seeing San Diego itineraries and New York itineraries.
Right.
And I know there are other cruise lines that do sail from those ports. So we definitely reach out to Karen and her team to see if maybe there's another option. But how would you respond to those folks who just so badly want to sail from New York and San Diego all year with Disney?
I think that Disney Cruise Line is hearing that. I really do. I think they're hearing it for sure. I think there's going to be a continued review of those different local markets. And remember that there's more ships coming. So as the ships continue to come in, I think we're going to we'll eventually see a variety of different itineraries.
So true. And someone's asking, oh, this is a good question. I've sailed on the Wonder in Australia, going to do the Adventure next, worried about going from the smallest ship to the biggest ship. Any tips? Good. That is quite the jump in ship.
It sure is. It sure is. And it's hard to give tips yet on the Adventure because nobody's sailed on her yet.
Yes.
But in general, just as in any ship, the great thing about the Adventure is that your only job is to enjoy the ship on that cruise.
So true. So true.
So you don't have to plan your excursions and all of that. All you have to kind of think about is, what do I want to experience on board? So I love when you board the ship, doing a self-guided ship tour. One of my favorite tips is always go to the spa, right? I can't wait to see the spa on the Adventure. It's going to have to be over the top incredible. Take your time and wander around the ship, explore, go see the kids clubs. Even if you don't have kids, it's open house time. Go see the kids clubs. Pop into the restaurants. Try to just take your time on that first day to get the lay of the land. Let yourself get lost a little bit. On such a big ship, it's almost like exploring a fun little city, right? And sometimes travelers just almost intentionally get lost, wander, and just soak it all in. And then you'll have, the rest of the time to kind of revisit those places, find the little hidden spots that you didn't see earlier. So, I would just say, go in with eyes wide open and come back and tell us all about it.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I know. I'm so excited. I think to go all the way there, you'd have for me, I'd almost have to do a back to back just to enjoy every corner of that ship. But I
Right.
am so excited. Someone's asking, can you use a placeholder to book these?
So there may be a few dates that have blackouts. I haven't checked out all the blackout dates, but there are blackout dates for placeholders. So we'll have to get the latest since the itineraries came out just today. I can take a look and see if any of the summer dates are blacked out. Usually it's like it might be a July 4th week that's blocked out, something that's super, super popular. But I feel like the blackout dates are um, there's fewer of them lately, except of course, like on a maiden voyage and that kind of thing. So
Yes.
if you do have a placeholder, this is a reminder that comes up all the time. Please make sure to reach out to your preferred travel advisor within 30 days of booking that placeholder. If you have already sailed and you know, on the ship said to yourself, I wish I'd use a travel advisor for this, for this one. I want to use one for the next cruise. It's really important when you come home to transfer that placeholder to your preferred travel advisor within 30 days, even though you haven't picked the cruise yet. That deposit has to be attached to the new travel agency within 30 days. So, I feel like that's something that we're trying to get the word out to everybody.
Yes. Yeah.
That
I,
placeholder is a great opportunity to get a discount on a future cruise, but you can't get the added benefit of working with a travel advisor unless it's transferred to them.
I have someone every single week reach out and they want to use a travel agent because they have this placeholder and they can't because they booked it a year ago or they booked it 6 months ago. And you have to make sure, people get so upset when they get back because they have this great thing and they want help. Because let me tell you, just because you go on one Disney cruise does not mean you're an expert. So many people come back and realize, holy cow, I did not know what I was getting into. I need help for the next one. And
That's
that is
true.
when you need to get in touch with a travel advisor that you know and that you trust, like Karen and her team who have sailed across the fleet. And I think that's another perk too is to use your placeholder. You have to call in. You can't book that online, and the
Right.
wait times on opening day are bananas. They are. I mean, people are on hold for 2, 3, 4+ hours trying to get through.
Absolutely. And now that there's 8 ships to be booked, yeah, it's gonna get complicated and tricky, and, we're already seeing some technical glitches with the website, so there's all kinds of things going on, and more importantly, you know, we work with a lot of clients who love doing their own planning. And that doesn't mean that you can't use a travel advisor. We love working side by side with people that want to do their own planning, that, you know, love the research and the reading and the tips. We learn together, but we can still help elevate their cruise and just also add that ease. Take the hassle, the parts that you don't want to deal with, take those away so you can stay with the parts that you love, and also just that safety net, because you never know when you need that advocate or when you're going to have an issue that nobody can expect. And that's, we talk about travel insurance, but having a travel advisor is another form of travel insurance.
It's that expertise for when things go wrong. You don't know how valuable it is until you need it. And then, yes, people's complaining about the website already. That's
Right.
why one of the many reasons to use a travel agent. And somebody's asking when these become available. When can I book?
Oh, what a great question. So let's see. Let me just pull that up real quick to get the schedule of when everything is going live. It is based on your Castaway Club status. And so for those that are Pearl Castaway members, they go live on Monday morning. So we have the rest of the weekend to dive through the itineraries, sort through them, and pick your preferred, destination. If you're Pearl, we can start booking for you on Monday. And if you're not Pearl, we can start getting pricing for different configurations and rooms that you might not be able to see right now online for you on Monday. So that is a service that we do for clients that are serious about working with us. If you reach out to us and provide us all your information, we can start getting you quotes starting on Monday. Tuesday is the Platinum Club members for Castaway Club. So those are who have 10 or more cruises. And that is also the day if we have any Gold and Oak Club members listening. Wednesday is for Gold Castaway Club members. And then Thursday is a whole bunch of different categories. If you're Silver, that means you've cruised at least once. And it has to be that you've actually sailed, not that you have a cruise on the books.
Thank you for mentioning
And yeah. So Silver is if once you've finished your cruise, you're Silver. Disney Vacation Club members, or if you have already completed at least one Adventures by Disney, you can book starting on Thursday. So that's for Disney Cruise Line. We do have some folks that are repeat adventure insiders with Adventures by Disney can start booking those river cruises tomorrow. So that's why there's just so many moving parts here. And those go also into the next week for those river cruise itineraries.
Love that. And yeah, if you want to plan, if you want to book a cruise next week, and we should probably to that point mention why booking next week is so important.
Oh, absolutely. So we know that the best pricing for a Disney cruise will be on opening week. If you are want to get the best value out of your cruise, you're going to look as early as you possibly can based on your status. And if you want to make sure that you have the stateroom availability, the location that you like, the category that you like, the departure date, also you want to book early because you might find that the rooms that are left are not the ones that you want for your family. There's times where people think, oh, I'm going to book last minute. And I have, even in the last couple of weeks, experienced a situation where a family of 3 adults could get in on the cruise ship. But if they were 2 adults and 1 child, the ship was at capacity for kids. And they do have a capacity control based on the different age groups. And so these things do happen. So just because there's room on the ship doesn't mean there might be room for you on the ship. So
Yes.
it's always best to plan early. And then you have time to make your deposit. And, if you want to make payments, you can make payments. If you want to use your Disney Visa gift card, that comes up a lot. We can use that, or your Disney Visa card, or your Disney gift cards. All of those can be used with us. So we have a little time to plan and dive in. And we have a whole team of advisors, as I said at the beginning, which I think is something that is really important about why we're different from some of the other agencies that some folks might have heard about, is that we work as a team so that everybody can get their cruise. If there's so many of us that we make sure that all of our clients are taken care of right when they need to be on their exact day.
Yes, having that team mentality is so important to make sure that everybody gets taken care of.
Yeah.
And this question about can you list your travel agent when you're booking? Yes. So when you book your placeholder on board, I think it's step 3 is it asks you, do you want to continue to use your current travel agent or do you want to add a travel agent? And you click yes or no, and then you'll click yes or you want to use a travel agent. You'll type in their email and then that'll get sent to them. When I get
Right.
back, I always
So
make sure and confirm that it has because sometimes some wires get
right.
crossed. But definitely like
It's important for your placeholders, a couple things that if you're using a travel advisor, you either will have the opportunity to use that same travel advisor or to book it directly with Disney Cruise Line. I really, really hope that you love your travel advisor and whoever they are, that you will stick with them. If you are not using a travel advisor, um, you can't pick a new travel agent on the app. You have to come home and let it be a transfer. It's a quick and easy form. We have a little really quick digital signature that we can send out to you. If you want to switch travel advisors, which again, I hope you don't, but if for some reason you do, you need to pick that you don't want to use a travel advisor, book it direct with Disney, and then when you come home, switch it to the new travel advisor again within 30 days.
Such a good clarification. Thank you for saying that. And we have a question. Oh, interesting. Okay. So I've heard that concierge can book when Pearl books. Is that true?
That is not true. That's interesting. I have not heard that one before.
Yeah.
If you want to book a concierge stateroom, that's amazing. We have so many great shows that we've done about concierge cruising, but it's still limited. You only can book it at the date that your window opens based on your status.
Yes. And someone's asking what time do they open?
Good question. So now that we have Asia, things are a little bit different. Technically, they can be, Disney says that it's 8 o'clock a.m. Eastern online. And so, do things always work that way? Sometimes online we get access earlier, sometimes the system glitches, but it usually is opens up at 8 o'clock.
Love that. Yes. And the phone lines will be crazy. So pack your patience if you don't want to use a travel advisor. I
And
would
I
highly,
want to add
highly
too, I don't
recommend
think
it.
I mentioned before that if you've never booked a Disney cruise, if this is your first time, then Monday the 17th, so we have to wait a full week for all those repeaters, is the day that you can book, that anybody can book for summer 2026.
And the prices can fluctuate from that first day until when they open. So that's why it's good to talk through. Karen and her team are going to be directly plugged into the prices day by day. So
Right.
they can keep you updated on the stateroom that you're thinking about. Have that conversation. Reach out tonight so you can book some time to chat tomorrow. And then you can talk about, okay, this is what's important to me. I want a quiet area because my kid is going to nap. We do or we don't want a veranda. And then you can strategize together because not every stateroom is going to be the best fit for every family.
Right. Right.
Uh, and then I've seen this question a couple of times. Same itinerary, different ships. How do you choose? They all sound good.
So that's a great question. So, we like to dive in, and if the itinerary is similar, then we'll start looking at, things like theming, things like what shows are on board, what characters are on board. So, what's really interesting is if you want to see Cinderella, you will not see her on the Disney Treasure. So
Ooh.
that, the Disney Treasure is really about, that theme of adventure. So, you'll see Moana and Mulan, but not Cinderella or Snow White. So it starts getting into some of the little fine grained details about, what shows might you want to see? Um, what dining experience might you want to have on board? Do you care about the theming in your room? That kind of thing. So, or it might just come down to let's look at price and see what might be a better value. Because if you haven't experienced either one, we'll just get you the best value to start, and then you're going to go again.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. You'll be addicted and we'll welcome you into the club with warm arms and Mickey ears on. And then where was this? Oh, can you use the promos on these?
So again, there might be some exceptions. That depending on what promotions are out and what is specific to you, like the Disney Plus promotion is not applicable at this time for these sailings that I've seen. I think those have to be sailed in this year. So placeholders are considered a promotion. Um, Sometimes categories come up that have restrictions. Um, Concierge categories do not combine with promotions. So, but a lot of people, as we mentioned before, ask about like the Disney Visa interest free, and that applies. Yes.
that. And then just two more questions for you. So one, if you want to book next week or on the 17th, what actually needs to happen when you book? How much are you putting down or committing to? Is there like a hold period or something like that?
Right, right. Great question. So, what we like to do for our clients is we need to get all of your information in order to build out that reservation and lock in your pricing, your stateroom category, and all of that. For the majority of the staterooms, it will hold for 3 days. So, if we were reserving today, the 6th, you would have until the 9th to place your deposit, which is 20%. If you're booking a concierge stateroom or suite, it will only hold for 1 day. So if we were booking today, it will hold until tomorrow. Um, Deposits for concierge are not refundable, but deposits for the other categories are. So again, it's all these little ins and outs. We can talk about your specific situation. We can talk about travel insurance. Disney has travel insurance, but we work with another company that has, similar or better coverage, oftentimes for a lot less. So we're always on the lookout for the best value for you.
And how much is the deposit typically?
So the deposit is 20% of your cruise fare. So again, it's going to vary based on what you're booking. So it is a little different. Some other cruise lines might charge a flat fee per person, regardless of what you're booking. It could be 100, 250, whatever per person. Disney Cruise Line is going to be 20%.
And last question for you. Some people are asking what ships we're going to be sailing on in 2026. Are we going to go on any of the new ones? Are you booked on the Destiny or Adventure, or what's on the horizon?
That is a great question. I am booked on the maiden voyage of the Disney Destiny, but that's this year. Um, in 2026, I am putting together my whole itinerary. As I said, tune in to the DCL Duo episode that will be coming up here shortly to hear about the DCL Duo Adventures by Disney River Cruise in July 2026. And gosh, I cannot tell you how much I want to get back on the Disney Treasure. I hope I don't have to wait till 2026 for that. Um, and I have a hope that I may be seeing the Disney Adventure sooner than later. So we'll just wait and see.
I was going to say, make sure you're following My Path Unwinding on all your social media. Get in touch with our friends. I was going to say, over at the DCL Duo, their river cruise from last year looked incredible. When they were going down into the salt mines, that I've told so many people about that. It just seems awesome.
That is the funnest experience. And you can do that on the Danube Adventures by Disney River Cruise, or you can do it on the Central Europe Adventures by Disney land vacation. I've done it both ways, the same experience, but I've done it twice. And if you want to just feel like a dwarf in the salt mines, and it's fun, but it's not scary. It's just super fun to go on those little salt mine trains and little slides, and it is super cool. And that's the great thing about Adventures by Disney, because there's so many unique experiences that are all included. So yeah, so many great experiences.
So true. And if you are as excited as we are, please get in touch with Karen and her team. That is the link again to her page on the DCL community site. Their planning services are free for you to utilize. So let them help you so that you're not waiting on hold for hours, so then you're not stressed about pricing and room selection and excursions and river cruise versus Disney cruise. What do I do?
Right.
They are here to help you.
Yes.
And
I see another couple questions that just came in.
go ahead.
It's the Magic and the Wonder are going to Alaska, not the Magic instead of the Wonder. So, someone asked about that. They're going to have double the fun, as we said at the beginning of the show, Valentina. So, we're going to have both ships there, and the Disney Adventure, yes, is a new ship that is coming to Disney Cruise Line out of Singapore. So it is really a focus on the Asian market, but we have a lot of our local friends that are planning on making the trek to experience that.
Yes, like Disney's first ever mega ship. So I am so excited to see the Imagineers just do their best in every corner of that ship. But if you want more information, definitely get in touch with Karen and her team. They are here to help. As you can tell, this is their passion. They love travel, and they love traveling with Disney. So let them help you plan so that you can just focus on relaxing and enjoying. Karen, thank you so much for hanging out with us. If you've got some time tonight, head over to the DCL Duo, their YouTube and Facebook pages, I'm sure, and tune
Absolutely.
in for more everything Disney Cruise Line and Adventures by Disney. But Karen, thank you again, and we will see all y'all on board real soon. Bye, guys.
Bye. Take care.